My name is Brandon, and this happened when I was 17. I never told many people about it, because every time I think about it, I get that same cold fear in my chest. But after hearing other stories online, I think sharing mine might help someone avoid the same mistake. At the time, I lived with my mom in a small apartment building in Cincinnati. The building wasn't dangerous, but it wasn't fancy either. The elevator was old, loud, and slow, the kind that shakes a little when it stops. Most days, I used the stairs, but that day, I had a box with a new laptop and school supplies. My mom bought it for me early for senior year. I was excited and honestly distracted, which is probably why I didn't notice the danger sooner. It was around 6:30 p.m. in early fall. You know that time of day when it's not dark yet, but the light is fading? That was the moment everything started. I walked into the elevator and pressed the button for floor 3. The doors started closing slowly, like always, until a hand suddenly slid between them. The doors opened again, and a man stepped inside. At first glance, he didn't look like someone dangerous. He looked tired, messy beard, dark hoodie, jeans, old dirty sneakers. But something immediately bothered me. He didn't look at the buttons. He didn't look at the floor number. He didn't nod or say, "Hey." He just stood there and stared at me. The doors shut, and the elevator started moving. I watched the numbers above the door. 1, 2. Right before it reached 3, the elevator jerked hard and stopped. The lights flickered, buzzing. That wasn't new. It happened before. Usually in a few seconds, it started again. But this time, the man slowly turned his head toward me. No blinking, no emotion, just watching. I forced a nervous laugh and said, "Guess it got stuck again." He didn't answer. Instead, he reached his hand toward the buttons and pressed the stop button. The red light switched on. That button wasn't supposed to be touched. Maintenance used it when fixing the elevator. My stomach dropped. Why'd you press that?" I asked. Still no answer. He just stared at the button, then slowly smiled. Not a normal smile. A smile like he found something interesting, something fun. Without breaking eye contact, he whispered, "No one's coming yet." My throat felt tight. My hands went numb. Every part of me was screaming that something was wrong. I tried to sound calm. "There's an emergency call button." He cut me off. "You're nervous." I didn't respond. He took one small step toward me. Just one. But the elevator felt smaller instantly. "You live here?" he asked. His voice was low and slow, almost careful. "Yeah," I said quietly. "Big mistake." His smile widened. "I've seen you." Those 3 words made my heart race. Seen me? When? Where? I didn't recognize him. I pressed the emergency call button. A ringing sound beeped 3 times, but there was no voice. No operator. The man watched me do it, never moving. "My daughter's waiting for me," said, lying. "She's 8. She'll call the police if I'm late." He tilted his head, then asked, "Why are you lying?" My legs felt weak. I didn't answer. For the first time, he moved more than a step. He walked toward me, slow but steady. I pressed back against the corner of the elevator. The metal was cold against my spine. "Don't," I said. My voice shook. He stopped just inches from me, close enough to smell his breath. It smelled like cigarettes and something sweet, maybe alcohol. His eyes looked different now, wide, excited. "You shouldn't talk to strangers," he whispered. My body went cold. Then something saved me. A loud voice echoed through the speaker. "Maintenance here. Elevator's stuck. Anyone inside?" The man didn't move, didn't blink. I forced my voice to work. "Yes," I yelled. "2 people." The man's smile vanished. He leaned close to my ear and whispered, "Don't say anything about me." Before I could respond, the elevator jerked again, and the doors slid open slowly. We were between floors, but the bottom half was level with the hallway. Maintenance workers stood outside, confused. The man didn't wait for instructions. He crouched down, slid through the opening, stood up, and walked away fast, never looking back. One worker helped me down and asked if I was okay. I wanted to tell them everything. I wanted to scream. That man locked the elevator on purpose. He was going to do something. He knew me, but I froze. I just said, "Yeah, I'm fine." Later that night, I told the police. They checked cameras. And that's when I learned the worst part. The man didn't live there. He never signed in. He never visited anyone. He wasn't a delivery driver or maintenance worker. But the cameras caught him doing one thing: waiting. For more than 45 minutes, he stood in the lobby near the elevator, watching people, following some, ignoring others, until I showed up. Police never found him. And even now, when I walk into an elevator and see someone I don't know, I get that same cold feeling in my chest. Because the scariest part of that night wasn't the elevator. It wasn't getting stuck. It wasn't even the silence. It was the moment I realized some people don't need weapons. All they need is time. And for you to be trapped. If you ever feel uncomfortable with someone in an elevator, step out. Trust your instincts. Because I learned the hard way, real monsters don't live in horror movies. Sometimes, they ride elevators.